Hey, hello. Welcome to 50/50 Booking. Uh, Peter here, hello. And so you guys are used to me being here. Over this way, of course, you've got Aaron, who's caring with colours. He seems to be having some fun with the internet right now, so maybe we'll see what happens. Let's see. He seems to be having a bit of fun right now. But let's see, everything seems to be alright this end anyway, so checking through stuff. So welcome to this week's 50/50 Booking. We're going to talk about everything in this past week for WWE and probably three other things thrown in the meantime. So,
I think everything's working now. I don't know.
we'll have to see what happens. There's not what you can do about it.
No.
It is what it's, yeah. When you do with the internet, people, it's hard to know. So, here you go, guys. It's Aaron, Camera Colors.
Yeah, day 10 of COVID, enjoying life, but not the taste of anything. Because COVID sucks.
Well, on the upside, you could eat pretty much anything at the moment. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you've got an autistic side that doesn't like certain textures.
Well, I meant for taste, but yeah.
So, yeah, this week's been a bit interesting. A couple of surprises that were surprises, and a couple of one mainly bad commentary moment that we'll end up probably get into.
We'll probably get to most things. It's just how it's going to be. So, yeah. For those of you wondering, every so often I'm just going to be looking down stuff. Yeah, I'm working while we're doing this because that's just how this works occasionally. So, not for the entire time, but when you're self-employed, you kind of have to do shit. We can do shit. There's not really a lot of choice. It's a Sunday evening or Sunday night, our time here, but when you work for yourself, you kind of have to deal with what you deal with. I mean, I'm just letting the listeners know. So obviously, you know what kind of stuff I have to do, so it's a bit different for you because obviously next year I'll be doing what I do for you and Kaylee. So
there's no audio.
When you
really.
Is that on you said when you said there's no audio, is that a Twitch thing?
Yeah.
It's like I was going to say, because this end I know, because this end is fine.
Just
So I'll try.
Hey, Wiggy Nugget, thank you for the lurk.
Nothing wrong with the lurking. Talk to us if you like.
I think it should be working now. It just means that everybody can hear us now.
Yeah, I just tried it this end. It seems to be working. So
make any sense. But just
Well, I know one thing. You're having internet issues. Because you're all pixelated for me.
with myself and Peter where we talk all WWE stuff. Been a lot of interesting things happening over the week.
There is.
Couple of returns. Cock up on commentary.
Yeah, I would say obviously if your listeners do want, if your Twitch guys do want to speak to us anyway, they can do. Doesn't necessarily relate to what we're talking about either, because it's a bit different for them because obviously they're not generally used to this. So
no, I'm not sure why I'm not sure why certain things are acting up when they shouldn't be.
Well, your picture's improved mine considerably, so
it's a little bit concerning.
Yes.
Yeah, the I'll just be in the net floor.
Right, let's see if that helps. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can do something this end. Yeah, sorry guys and girls for the moment. Just having to go through some things just to see what we can sort out if there's anything particularly is an issue. No, this end seems to be all right. So I'm not. So it must be something purely to do with your end, I'm guessing. Yay, Joe.
Yeah. So there's like a 30-second plus delay, and then like other stuff. I'm not sure how I would use Stream to use like Dragcatch, run the stream through. I don't know.
It's been a while since we've had an issue like this with this, so.
Yeah. So have you seen everything this week?
I know what happens. I've not seen everything though, because I've been busy.
Okay.
Is the honest answer.
So show was kicked off by the Usos and Sikoa hyping up New Day later on in the week on Raw. The crowd started cheering about Sami Zayn, and the Usos ignored it, carried on talking about them versus New Day. They went to say They the Twos thingy and got interrupted by none other than the New Day. They were all in in-ring gear. Kofi got an individual chant from the crowd as well, which was kind of unexpected. But the Bloodline gave New Day props, saying they were proud of the New Day. They had everything and they were great. But it must feel weird to be the second best tag team. But then Woods pointed out that they still had the record and they at least did it on their own without any insinuating Sikoa and Bloodline, saying that they could stand on their own 2 feet and that they got tryouts because of blood. They didn't get tryouts because of blood. They got tryouts because of their hard work.
Yeah, sure.
The Bloodline. All this got Riddle came out with bongos and Tom was okay, except Jey Uso. So he shoved Riddle's bomb and this caught between the Bloodline and New Day and Riddle for some reason. Kind of a teaser for SmackDown, but I don't know why Riddle was involved in this. You kind of knew who was getting pinned by the end of this match.
But sometimes people are involved for that exact reason, because you don't want to beat certain people.
It was
so you need
Riddle who got pinned by Solo Sikoa. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Solo Sikoa got the pin on Riddle. Huh?
There's a delay going on here. You're not hearing me until about 5 seconds later.
I didn't understand what you said.
There's a delay going on between when I'm speaking and when you're hearing.
I don't get what's happening with this. It's really annoying.
Yeah, just have a bit of fun here, folks. Yeah, we're having a bit of fun here. As you guys can tell, we're having super issues. So enjoy it. Just try to Next. Go see what's going on here. So just going to go off camera for a minute so I can sort this out. Kinds of fun. Right? Hello. Aaron.
Hello.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
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 Hi, Aaron.
Fuck's sake.
Hello, Aaron.
Hello.
Hi. You all right there? I can hear you okay. Hello? Aaron.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Aaron. Hello? Hello? You there, Aaron? So you still there, Aaron? Yeah? You there? Oh, joy. So much fun for you people. Let's say, right. Aaron.
Everything constantly crashing. Oh no, just
so guys, we're just going to have to have a little bit of fun here. Aaron?
Hello.
You hear me, yeah?
Yep.
Well, I think that tells us what the issue is then. So, it's either OBS or it's Twitch, depending on what you're using.
Most definitely OBS.
Yeah. Does it need an update? Is that maybe that's what it is?
Not from what I know of. I don't think there is any update. It's just being stupid.
Maybe you just restart it, see what happens. Maybe it's just being funky for that particular launch. It does happen sometimes with software. For you guys on YouTube, sorry about that. It's just been a bit weird today. Hey, technology! So I do, if we can, we'd like it to work for you to be at stream on your Twitch, because you know.
Levels are holding steady.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. That's something.
I haven't pressed start yet, so I don't know what's going to happen if I hit the start button.
Well, you'll only know if you try, to be perfectly honest. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least then we know what it is.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
It's kind of working in a couple of, but hopefully this is gonna work now.
Well, anyone might find out.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming through okay.
Yeah, I've not seen you appear on your Twitch though.
No, it only does it once every couple of hours, so it's gonna be
No worries, you just appeared. I just refresh Twitch.
Yeah.
Granny, I got.
Cool. Well, that worked. So you're on Twitch anyway. And you can hear me all right, yes? Cool. Wait, it seems... I'm just guessing OBS was just being a bit of a spaz.
Yep.
So unfortunately, something that does happen with this sort of stuff, people. Not what we can actually do about it, I'm afraid.
No,
Doesn't matter so much.
just
Doesn't matter so much for
confusing,
you.
though, 'cause
Doesn't
yeah,
matter
I
so
mean,
much
I've got
for
a
YouTube
wired
people.
internet connection. I don't know why this.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, and it sucks.
Yeah, if it's OBS that's causing the problem, then it's software. In which case, it's got nothing to do with your connection at all. It's just OBS is being weird.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it on Twitch because it's not letting us. It's not letting us even talk without being interrupted on my end. It was all right for a little bit, but now it's just freaking getting annoying.
Yeah, this is what's happened to me before. So yeah.
So I think I'm gonna have to say goodbye to everybody on Twitch. If you guys want to head over to YouTube and check Peter's channel out, it's the Sorting Stuff podcast, Sorting Stuff Network. Sorry, and it's 50/50 booking. I
If you
will
give me a sec. If you give me a
get
sec,
the
I will
link up
find.
on YouTube.
Okay, I was going to do it, but okay, if you've got it, then great. You can do that.
I mean, I can put it on my I can put it on my Twitch's chat channel, and then they can go to it there.
Okay, that sounds like an idea.
And while you're there, if you want to give Peter a follow on YouTube, we do the podcast every Sunday on YouTube without follow anyway, without fail anyway. It's just a whether or not Twitch works for us, and currently not so much.
Yeah, usually the only time this doesn't happen is basically if I'm working. That's literally what it is.
And no. Yeah. So, well, we're live on Twitch because it's not working properly. Go head over there and say hi to us and Twitch is gone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds to me like OBS probably needs an update.
That's the thing, though. I've just restarted it and there's no new update there.
I don't know. I don't think it's you. I just think OBS is just being weird. It probably just needs a kick in the ass.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that the internet's apparently shit, even though it's decent enough.
Well, the thing is, you look fine now. There's no issues at all, mind. You look crystal clear. There's no sound issues now.
Yeah.
Kind of odd. But obviously, for those of you over on, obviously for those people over here on YouTube, sorry, we've just had to try and sort through this shit while we're live. It happens. Not a lot we can do about it, but you guys get an idea of the kind of stuff we have to deal with to make this shit work.
Yeah.
So,
None of it very fun.
sorry?
None of it much fun. And
No.
infuriatingly frustrating.
That's one word for it. Pain in the ass is the word I would use.
I've just noticed something as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I haven't been streaming today, my capture card's been running all day and my capture card's red hot.
Well, that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, probably. So I'm going to disconnect that.
Yeah, it needs to. That's never a good thing.
No.
You only really need that up and running if you're actually doing something. Otherwise, I would just disconnect it.
Mm.
You don't want it doing weird shit like that, because that might be why you're having issues.
Well, the only problem is with the capture card is that when you connect it to your TV, it's all wired together, so that way you have to have it plugged in to be able to see what's happening on your Xbox on the TV.
Yeah, but at that point, it's a case of. But then you're using it. Is my point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not using it, then there's no point in having it active. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! It's so much fun. The internet.
So yeah, Raw kicked off with the Bloodline and New Day and Riddle, and they had a 6-man tag match, and Riddle was the scapegoat.
Yeah, like I was saying before, sometimes people are put into matches because they need somebody to take a pinfall.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Riddle was put in the War Games match that's probably going to happen at War Games.
Survivor Series.
Yeah. Just to even up the numbers.
Yeah. It's the thing with that, though, honestly, Survivor Series War Games. I know for a fact it's going to be NXT version of War Games, which you know my opinion of that. It's suckety sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see. Maybe it'll surprise me. I fucking doubt it, though.
We then had a Crown Jewel recap that was okay and long enough, but not too long, in my opinion. That was followed by the arrival of JBL, and he came out to the ring and introduced Corbin for a match, and the match was Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. Quick, aggressive, and a win for Corbin. Nothing really memorable about the match.
It's good to see Cedric, though.
Yeah, I suppose. We then got Seth Rollins in ring for a US title open challenge, and the Judgment Day answered. Balor said he had a bone to pick with Seth because he cost him gold. Then the OC came out and Rollins did the smart thing and left while the two teams faced off. AJ said that they wasn't done and said they had evened the numbers, and then Mia Yim returned, took out Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day with a kendo stick, and the group was sent running. So yeah, this was Mia Yim's revolution
Yeah.
I didn't really like it, to be honest, but it's what it is.
Well, I like seeing Mia Yim.
Yeah.
It's probably the best thing I can say about it, honestly. I like seeing Mia Yim.
We then got to catch up with Seth backstage, and he said he'll redo the Open Challenge later on in the show. Didn't have a problem with that.
Sure. Makes sense.
This was followed by Otis versus Elias. Apparently a payback match from last week for Elias putting a pumpkin on Otis's head during the trick or street fight match he had between Riddle and himself. Even though this match was like no disqualification, so I don't see the point in payback for a no DQ match because anything goes.
Yeah. It's kind of the point of a match like that.
Yeah. But what surprised me, Otis got the win on this. I mean,
Yeah,
sure, it was off a distraction by Gable, but he still managed to get the win over Elias.
But yeah, it's a bit surprising, not going to lie.
Don't have a problem with it being surprising, to be honest. As long as we don't get a rematch this week, I'll be happy. So I don't see the point in this match.
It's because there isn't one.
We then got an interview from the Judgment Day, and Rhea said no one compares to her. Ugh. And then Bianca Belair walked past, and they acknowledged each other, but Rhea looked like she had a plan or a thought as they parted ways. This was followed by Bianca, Bliss, and Asuka coming out to the ring, and we were shown a Crown Jewel recap, and then some footage of the ladies and Damage Control brawling, well, almost brawling in the car park. The three called out Damage Control. It led to Bliss saying they had them at Saudi. They should just thank Nikki Cross. Then Io and Asuka actually had a full-blown argument in Japanese, which I thought was actually really, really good to see. And then Io Shirai ended it by calling Asuka a bitch. And I was just like, okay.
Well, that's the thing, right? When you've got two competitors whose first language is not English, if you get angry with somebody, you'd revert to your natural language and have an argument that way.
Mm-hmm.
Found that should happen more often, whether you're Japanese, Mexican, whatever.
I found this like Japanese argument was like the funniest but the best part of this entire segment, to be honest.
Well, I think it also comes off as more natural as well, because obviously it's their native language.
Mm.
Imagine me and you trying to argue in Japanese. I mean, I speak a little bit, and I do mean a little bit.
Arigato.
Konnichiwa, ichini sanshi go rock. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So imagine just trying to run an argument in Japanese. It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, after the whole after Io called Asuka a bitch, it all broke down. Belair said this was no longer a fight; it was war, and it's going to be settled in War Games. And then Nikki attacked the three of Belair and company from behind, laying all three of them out. And Damage Control rejoined the fight and stood tall and accepted the War Games invite, because that's what it felt like.
Certainly did, didn't it?
Yeah, there was no big grumpy manager coming out and shouting, "This will be settled in War Games." This felt more like a, hey, fancy a War Games match? Yeah, go on then. Like, did it feel?
It's because you haven't got William Regal, so you've got to think of another way to do it.
Well, have Triple H come out and do it. He likes showing his face on his pride and joy. Maybe fucking have him do it.
Because hopefully he's realised that I don't want to fucking see his face on television.
So we found out that this War Games match is going to be a 5-on-5. So that's Nikki, Damage Control, and Bliss, Oscar, and Belair accounted for. So we need 2 for one team and 1 for another. A couple of segments kind of gave us a hint, as well as a social media comment from a certain someone later in the week. Also happened, but we'll get to that in a little while. So next, for some bizarre reason, we had Austin Theory versus Shelton Benjamin. This came about from an argument backstage, and we were showing the segment. Benjamin basically challenged Austin Theory to a match because he said his potential was wasted and that he'd never cash in successfully at this rate. Foreshadowing. And due to Theory just being Theory, he was disrespectful, and Theory ended up accepting the match. This was actually an okay match, but Theory got the win, and he got it clean.
Yeah, well.
It was good to see Benjamin. It's funny how you have to see Cedric Alexander and Benjamin on the same show, though, nowadays.
Yeah, match in such a world. They should definitely be more seeing more, though, because the fact they're not on telly more is kind of really dumb.
Oh, apparently the win over Shelton Benjamin wasn't clean. I can't remember what happened, but it was not clean, apparently.
That's Austin Theory. I just assume he cheats.
Yeah, we then found out Miz and Gargano were told to sort their differences in the ring. Miz came out and said he was suing WWE for defamation. Then Gargano interrupted, saying he had to blow the whistle on himself because when he did the interview, he was hoping his story would make Miz tell the truth. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Johnny needed more evidence, so he hired a private investigator and set up the Miz with a live camera and wire. And we got to see the whole dinner, and Miz spilled his spilled dirty little secrets to the private investigator that Gargano hired. This was like a clever segment, but it wasn't the best, really.
Yeah,
it was followed by a subpar match at best as well. That Miz ended up winning by cheating, but he got instant karma as he got leveled by Dexter Lumis in a steel chair, which is, is good, I suppose. But this is probably just going to end to another match at War Games with Gargano being the special guest ref. Probably, that's what I reckon.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst idea. Or three-way maybe, or some weird shit.
I couldn't see it being a three-way.
It's WWE booking. You know they'll do some dumb shit.
Yeah. We then got Damage Control talking to Nikki Cross about getting her a title opportunity, which was okay. And then next we saw Nikki Cross versus Dana Brooke for the 24/7 championship. Nikki had Damage Control ringside. Bayley was on commentary. Not gonna lie, Bailey just sounded defeated on commentary. Nikki dominated and won the title. Then after the break, they were walking backstage and Nikki threw the 24/7 championship title in the bin.
Goodbye, belt.
And this drew the ire of, this was posted on social media and it drew the ire of Dana Brooke, who was the former 24/7 championship, saying everything that she escalated and brought to that title thrown in the trash. So this leads me to believe that we're going to get Dana Brooke on Belair, Asuka, and Bliss's side at War Games.
Possibly, but I would say look at it this way, right? If anybody has the right to feel aggrieved about that title being trashed, it's the guy who is the one who held it the most, right?
Oh yeah,
ain't Dana Brooke.
Oh, truth, but he's out
Yeah.
injured. He had to have knee surgery last week.
Yes, wanted to bring him in. This was my segue for doing so. Yeah, quad injury, unfortunately, and that tends to be about 6 months.
Yeah.
Ask Vince.
So out for 6 months with a quad injury, and the first sign that he's out, they ditched the title.
I wouldn't be surprised if the that belt only existed for him.
So we'll probably see it again in 7 months.
6 months and 1 day.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, I hope R-Truth gets back fighting fit, because I like R-Truth. R-Truth's earned what he's got, and big fan of that.
Yeah. This was followed by Yim and the OC, who seemed happy, and they also said they were going out to celebrate, and Yim said that she was buying. And AJ Styles kind of questioned it because, like, apparently they're big guys and they can drink.
Luke and Gallows and Anderson can, yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen them drink.
Their stories.
I bet.
Also, if you've ever listened to a Talking Shop podcast or seen the special events they show, yeah.
So this was followed by Deja Vu. Seth Rollins Open Challenge segment.
Didn't you just say that?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show?
This was with 18 minutes left of the show, and he called out his challenger. Well, he could have done, but first told everyone it was his 10-year anniversary in WWE, and we got a load of crowd love, hype, and then he opened the challenge to anyone. A video of Ali opened up on the Tron. Ali answered, but literally got dropped by Lashley and then yeeted. He got jumped. Lashley got jumped by Ali, trying to take him out, but he just threw him against a bunch of road cases and told Seth that he accepted his challenge for his US title rematch. This left him 11 minutes, and the bell hadn't rang yet. And before the bell, Lashley took Rollins out on the outside of the ring. Rollins turned it around, but Lashley lost it, and security officials tried to separate the two. Lashley laid Rollins out and put him through the announcer desk, but then for some reason Austin Theory came out and cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and the match started. Rollins kicked out 4 times, then Lashley returned, took out Theory and the ref, got back in the ring. Theory managed to get back in the ring eventually, but got stomped and pinned, so he lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. And I'm not going to lie, this is the first time ever that the Money in the Bank briefcase has been used on the US title or any other title than a world title, and this was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
This was a waste.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah, this is retarded, ladies and gentlemen.
Also, this Money in the Bank briefcase has always been clearly stated that it is for a world title match at any time, any place. The US title is not a world title. It's the US title. The hint is in the name. So how the fuck does this count as a valid cash-in?
That might be the out that they have.
Yeah, because if not, Theory's just been buried. And from what I hear, that's what they've gone for. Which I think is stupid and a waste.
I wouldn't be surprised because it does sound that dumb.
And he is the 5th person to ever fail at cashing in Money in the Bank. So he joins the likes of Baron Corbin, John Cena, Mr. Kennedy, I believe.
Yeah, Mr. Kennedy. But Mr. Kennedy lost his edge, so it wasn't even in a match.
Yeah, and Austin Theory. And Otis, if you think about it.
Yeah, there you go. That's that. That's the set. And that's if you don't include the. Also, you're not including the women there either.
No, because nobody in the female roster's failed at a cash-in yet.
Yeah, noticed that.
Yeah, because they always do it the same fucking night they get the contract.
Yeah, which is my issue with that fucking one too. It's like, come on, really?
Yep.
But it's dumb, it's retarded. On top, the biggest thing as well is you're making Austin Theory look like a complete retard. I mean, he is as a character. But you're telling the audience that you think he is as well.
Yeah, not worth the storyline time.
No. What purpose did it serve, honestly?
About that much.
About that. You know what I think?
So yeah, that was Raw.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'd call it a shit show.
I gave it a 3.
Yeah. It's a generous 3, but sure.
It was mostly the chair shot from Loomis and the Yim return.
Fair. Okay, yeah, 3, fair enough. For that, if you're going to invoke those as reasons, that's won't argue those because those are solid reasons.
Yeah, I mean, the match between Theory and Shelton wasn't bad. It was kind of pointless, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, true.
So NXT was next. Was opened by Schism and Gacy versus Grimes. Gacy actually in proper ring gear was kind of weird for me because I've just seen him in jeans and a shirt since he's been in NXT.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah. But Grimes was in control most of the match, but Ava pushed him off the top rope and Gacy capitalized with a comeback, a lariat for the win. We then had a Fraser and Axiom segment that was okay. eventually interrupted by Devlin, and he told Axiom he had no idea what pain even meant, and he was giving Fraser advice on being injured out of respect. He also said Axiom would have failed in the ladder match anyway if he was in it, and Axiom interrupted and said, "Oh, you mean I'd do a Jordan Devlin and I would fail to get the job done for the title?" And JD didn't like it. He said he'd break Axiom and shelf him so he could spend some quality time with Nathan Fraser. Axiom said, "We'll see about that," and JD agreed, and that ended up being the main event, even though it wasn't announced. So, I mean, this wasn't like the longest segment ever, but it was good for what it was. It set up the main event, but they didn't tell us it set up the main event. They just expected us to guess.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing about main events of shows, right? If you go to an event and you haven't already got your main event booked, then I call bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? No self-respecting booker of any kind, whether it's wrestling, boxing, whatever, UFC, would put on an event without the main event would have been set, because that's how these things usually draw people in. You might not have announced all the under matches or anything like that, but you'd never not have a main event. So this is fucking stupid when they do this.
Well, we then got a barbershop set. Oh no, the main event was already announced. That wasn't the main event. I've made a mistake. The main event was the women's tag title match.
I was going to say, I was thinking isn't it women's tag title match? But I was going to say, if they announced that as the main event, then that's bullshit.
I mean, it was the main event, but it didn't feel like the main event. It didn't feel like it deserved it, really.
What didn't?
The women's tag title match. I hate to say it because it's a title match.
I would say of all the matches on that show, it's the only title match, right?
Yes.
So in theory, it probably should be the main event.
I agree.
Right, if you're gonna have a match like that, though, it needs to be
good.
Right. I was going to get to that point. Yeah, you need to still have a good match.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. So we then got a barbershop segment with Carmelo Hayes and Rick Williams. Basically, he wanted his one-on-one rematch in 2 weeks against Wesley, and that we was told that was going to happen. We then had a blackout in the script segment, which was okay. Then Soul Rocker versus Elektra Lopez with Lopez's brand new penthouse themed entrance. Soul Rocker was doing this for revenge on Lopez taking her and Indy Hartwell out 2 weeks ago. Booker T telling people to get popcorn during this match pretty much says it all, to be honest.
Right. The job of the commentator, right? Part of the job of the commentator, you know what it is, yes?
Yeah.
Is to promote the talent, highlight the match, draw attention to the match, make you want to watch the match.
Yeah, then he told us to go get popcorn.
Yeah, so what the fuck is Booker T doing?
So Lopez won the match quickly. She then got jumped by Hartwell and floored. Then there was a Chase U segment and a hype up segment for Andre Chase with his match next, which was okay, but taken from the previous dynamic, this just felt all over the place. Not to mention the fact that after the Andre Chase U promo, like hype up segment, we didn't get the match. Instead, we got a Toxic Attraction segment between JC Jane and Mandy Rose, where JC Jane was jumped by Alba Fire, beaten up, and left on the side of the road, apparently. She says she'd take care of them both, and that Mandy was next, and it would be next week for the title. Them two 1-on-1 no JC, no Dolan. Basically, what Al's been after for, well, weeks.
And here's the problem: I don't care.
No, I'm past caring now as well.
And the whole point of things like this is you want the people, the audience, to care about your matches, especially a title match.
Yep. And the stupid thing is that they're doing it the same week that no, they're not. Don't worry.
Sorry.
I was getting my weeks mixed up.
What did you think it was the same week as?
North American title.
Then no. However, it is the same week. You said it's next. You say it's this coming Tuesday, yeah?
Yeah.
It is the same week that Tony Storm faces Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's all I'm saying.
I know which
and
match.
Jade Cargill takes on Nyla Rose.
Yeah, and I know which match I'm probably going to remember and probably want to watch again.
I'll give you. Yeah, I was going to say. I'll give you a hint. It involves an Australian and a Brit.
Well, it wasn't the Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill one, that's for sure. That's probably going to be last on the list. I might want to watch the thing.
I don't know. That might end up being better than the Fire Rose match, honestly.
I don't know. We'll have to.
I did say might.
Next week.
To be clear, there, I said might.
Both
of them, I think both of them are going to be left in the dust by the other one.
Mm.
Those two matches are going to be like here, right? See here.
Mm.
This is Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter, yeah. Just to illustrate my feelings on the matter.
Yeah, and you don't even like Jade Cargill.
Not particularly, no. It's nothing to do with her personally. I just think she's not ready.
No.
It's just one of those things. I don't mind Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose is good at what Nyla Rose does, but Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm, if you're going to watch a women's match next week, that's the one to watch.
So, following that segment, we had Charlie Dempsey versus Andre Chase. There was a Chase and Dempsey history reminder that was good of them, I suppose. Their match 3 months ago when Chase won via last stop at pinfall. And then last week's attack on Chase by Dempsey after Chase's match. It was okay, but for some reason Duke Hudson threw in the towel and gave Dempsey the win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a weird one, but I don't know where they're going from there.
Not anywhere good, put it that way. Because how can you? I mean, what purpose does this fucking serve?
I don't know. Then Indy Hartwell was interviewed and it was all right. We then had a Briggs and Jensen and Henley segment at Henley's Family Bar. Apparently, Kiana James offered Fallon money for her bar and she said no. Kiana offered another bigger offer and she got kicked out of her family's bar. She didn't look at the offer and then, yeah, the segment ended. So Fallon's probably going to face Kiana James at some point, possibly.
What is it with people offering money for shit at the moment? You've got fucking Ari and Daivari doing the fucking same thing in AEW. It's a fucking dumb gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
So at least Daivari's has the interest of, he's going to get the shit beaten out of him for doing it.
Yeah.
Because he does it to people who you know for a fact are going to kick his ass.
Yep.
All this makes me think of is, okay, apparently there's going to be more of this.
Mm-hmm.
Make it. I mean, you could. There is a way to make this interesting. Unfortunately, they haven't found it. I mean, make me give a crap about what they're doing this for. Would
Yeah.
help. So yeah.
Let me add Stanks versus Stacks versus Stacks versus Hank Walker. Stacks had Tony D ringside, a good showing, but a knee stomp, and it was kind of like a knee stomp, a stomp with a knee, got Stacks the win. So instead of using his foot for a stomp, he literally used his knee. It didn't look bad, but I don't know.
It might just be a matter of execution, maybe, but it's probably because sometimes with moves like that, you're so used to seeing somebody do it a certain way and somebody does it slightly different. It's a bit weird the first few times you see it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just that.
What followed this was Grayson Waller effect featuring Bron Breakker and Von Wagner, and we found out they'll be fighting for the NXT title next week. This was actually quite okay. Stone was dropped by Breakker by the end of it, which was funny, but no fight broke out here, surprisingly, so it was kind of boring. Also, I have a question.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yep. So I have to pay attention. Yep.
They mentioned in this segment, Bron Breakker is a second-generation superstar.
Correct.
We know this because of the Steiners.
Well, Brett Steiner, yes.
They then also mentioned that Von Wagner is also a second-generation superstar.
Yeah, he's the son of a Beverly brother.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's most people wouldn't. I think it's Bo Beverly, because of Bo and Black Beverly, the Beverly brothers. They were a team back in the 92, 93. And he's one of their
Harlem Heat.
Yeah, he's one of their sons.
The more you know.
So, there you go. Well, David answered your questions. That's good.
Anyway, Wesley interview followed this. It was okay, to be honest. We then got a recap of Chu saving Feroz from Cora last week. Cora Jade addressed Chu, telling her to think twice about her actions. That was then followed by Apollo saying he'd be the next champ as soon as he was done working/scouting in the middle of Saudi Arabia for the next WWE talent. In other words, the next Mansoor or Mansoor or whatever you want to call the man twat.
That's cute.
Oh, side note, Mansoor wasn't featured in Crown Jewel this year.
Yeah, it's weird. It's Bo Beverly, by the way, just to clarify which of them it is. But yes, that's actually a good point. He was not, was he?
First time ever. Because nobody wanted to put him over this year. Because Cesaro was gone. And the last person Mansoor faced, I think, is also gone, if memory serves me correctly.
Maybe there was nobody who wanted to actually leave.
Mm-hmm.
But either that or just a simple case of maybe the Saudis didn't feel the need to do it, maybe, because they do have a lot of input as to what happens in those cards.
I mean, there's also the possibility that his new career line is kind of frowned upon.
Maybe.
Maximum male models kind of seems a bit camp of a thing.
It's probably still just the right side of that because I think they would have bared in mind when they put him in that position
Mm.
because that's a serious thing in that country. So you have to be very careful about shit like that.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So I would think that gimmick's probably still the right side of that. It's probably not great, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad there either. It's
Possibly tooth the nail.
it's probably more of a case of they just didn't want to risk it.
Mm.
You know, it's not like MVP, for example.
Mm.
For those of you who missed that one, the reason MVP didn't get to go was he's an atheist who used to be a Muslim, which is a crime punishable in Saudi Arabia.
And then you also have Sami Zayn,
who is not allowed in the Great Kingdom of Saudi Arabia because he's of Syrian descent. And they don't like the Syrians very, very much.
even though the crowd was cheering for him during Roman Reigns' match.
Oh, you noticed that too, did you?
Mm.
It's funny how that
And
works.
the conference. And the Usos match.
Yeah, I would also point out once upon a time they wouldn't let women wrestle either.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
It's going to be debatable on whether or not how far Sami Zayn's put over in the next year is whether or not he'll be on the card in Saudi next year.
Well, put it this way: if he ends up being a champion of some kind, that could kind of force the issue.
Mm.
Also, if he's that popular, would they want him not to be there?
Mm.
Because, you know, they're all about the monies.
It's going to come down to him at the end of the day, let's face it, because it's going to be his decision whether or not he wants to be put at risk to go over there.
Oh, yeah, because it's very much a danger for him, even if they would let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because some of the people in that country would be okay, it doesn't mean they all would be.
Because, I mean, even though the Royals have a lot of leeway out there, that doesn't stop him from having to go through airport security, airport control.
Police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, in those parts of the world, they can be a bit...
Dicey.
Yeah, that's the word.
So, following this, we had Axiom versus JD McDonough, aka A-Kid versus Devlin from NXT UK Part 4.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this before across the pond, and the ending was uncomfortable to watch, with Devlin popping A-Kid's knee, forcing him to tap out, but we'd have to see what would happen here. Back and forth, fast-paced action as usual, but at the same time, technically full throughout. Awesome match, loved every minute of it. No surprise whatsoever. JD went for the knees as to be expected, and later in the match, Devlin did the exact same thing as he did last time across the pond in popping and dislocating A-Kid's knee.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, it's something A-Kid can do, so it's not something that's bad.
Yeah, dexterity joint. Dexterital joints.
Yeah, some people have that particular trick in their arsenal, and for something like wrestling, it's quite a good visual thing. But for those of you who are a bit squeamish or don't particularly like seeing body parts move where they shouldn't be, it's a bit disconcerting.
Yeah. This match ended up being stopped due to referee stoppage. Devlin won. Devlin grabbed a microphone and said that it was only a strain, not a tear, because he's not a bad guy, but he can be, until asked Dragunov, and then called upon the locker room asking for someone to get on his level. No one answered, but Devlin said he was looking at Apollo Crews and dropped the mic and left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was okay. It just felt a little flat.
Yeah, that's probably the best description. It was meh, and it was meh.
I mean, it was an awesome match, just to be followed up by a meh.
Mhm. Yeah. By the way, I keep hearing that boop boop noise. Is that just your phone or what?
No, it's the wonderful world of Discord.
Oh, right. Oh joy.
Yeah, for some reason notifications don't shut the frick up.
There'll be a way to do it, but you have to play around with it, I guess.
It should
Well-
stop. I've just quit Discord.
Well, you shut down the app. You haven't quit it. So.
No, I've quit it from my laptop, so it's not running on my laptop anymore.
No worries.
So
I mean, those two pretty much did what you'd expect from a match, but the after bit was a bit meh.
yeah, we then got a 5-minute challenge between Kemp and Creed. This was due to the whole Halloween Havoc thing and Kemp losing the ambulance match. Brutus got his payback after he was after he knocked Kemp to the floor and hit him multiple times with a steel chair. The whole time, meanwhile, Sanger and Beer were looking on at the Creed brothers for some reason, kind of like eyeing up a steak.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
Yeah. We had an Indy, Hartwell, and Perez segment where Perez wanted to know if Indy was okay. Indy got annoyed and asked her just because she is now focused on herself if she'd changed. She said there are no friends in this business and she should have learned this because of Cora turning her back on her. I didn't mind this segment, it just felt out of character for Indy.
It's because it is out of character for him. It makes no sense.
I feel like they're trying to turn her heel without giving her the full heel heat. And for me, that doesn't work.
Yeah, it does. It seems that's what they're doing. But I think, honestly, she's better as a baby face.
Yeah, I mean, when she first started out, she had a heel vibe, but that completely dissipated as soon as like the whole Way thing happened, and then Loomis, and then and then what happens now is we've got a Indy Hartwell that doesn't really know where she's going, kind of vibe, and she doesn't have a tag team partner on the roster to turn against. So there's no way they can make her heel easily.
Oh, there's a way. There's always a way.
Speaking of tag teams, next we had Carter and Chance versus Lyons and Stark in the tag title rematch. This was a great match. Another retain for Carter and Chance. And in a shit WWE solution we hate to love to see, having Lyons and Stark splitting by Stark turning on Lyons and decking her with a tag title that she didn't own.
Yeah.
This was the worst turn ever. Like, worst turn this year. Definitely worst turn.
Oh, I don't know.
I felt this coming at the beginning of the match. This sucked.
I think there's a few up in contention, but this is definitely up there. You're right a bit about it's terrible. I'm not. It is god awful, but whether it's the worst.
No, it's not the worst thing to happen because I didn't really understand the tag team and how it actually came about in the first place because there was no building blocks or nothing. But this made no sense to me. This was shit. This was the crappiest of crappiest endings that they could have done for this match. Hell, I think
Yes.
even Lyons turning on Stark would have been a better one. Because I mean, Stark got pinned, so it made no sense.
Only possible out you could have for Stark on that would be she blames her for not saving her from being pinned. It's a frustration
She ate
thing.
a double super kick by the champions before Stark was pinned.
Yeah,
There's
I'm just
no
saying.
way out
I'm
here.
just saying what she could possibly come up with, because you know when a heel becomes a heel, they come up with very contrivance to justify themselves, even if it's wrong.
And it is wrong. It's fucked.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's good, but it's probably the shit they'll do.
I think they've just fucked Stark here, in my opinion. I don't see her being a good heel.
I would actually agree with that. I do think Lions would be better at being heel because I think Lions has there's things Lions can do which could make that be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than what Stark can. But there you go. We'll see what shit they come up with for that.
Yeah, I gave NXT a 4.5 out of 10.
Uh-huh. 4.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's got to be like the worst rating for NXT for quite a while. It was really... I didn't enjoy it at all. It was crap. Except for the Axiom and JD match, which wasn't a surprise, really.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I say 3.5, not 4.5. It was only slightly better than Raw. And it was literally just because of a match.
Yeah. That's probably fair, to be honest. Before we do disappear from NXT, though, just going back to Grimes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think, honestly, at this point, Grimes is done.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Because, not being funny, unless he's going to win one of the singles belts, which that ain't not going to be a thing.
Nah.
Then what else is he going to do?
I don't know. Be a standard bearer on Level Up. Oh, speaking of, brand new faction on Level Up was introduced this week. Zion Quinn and two new up-and-comers. Not sure who they are. Can't remember their names. But yeah, it's a trio. Another faction.
Well, you're a Level Up, man, so, you know.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I just got told about it.
But that's the thing, because obviously you're a correspondent, so when it comes to Level Up. Because I do not have the time to watch it. Let's see. Let's see if we can find out. Who it is.
I can tell you. Their names are Bronco and Lucian. And I think they're called The Few.
Cool. Well, let's see how they do. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be something nice and fun and different.
Kind of looks like a biker gang kind of vibe.
Ooh. Okay. So aces and eights, gotcha. That'll be fun.
Aces and eights meets Samoa, if that makes sense.
Samoan eights, there you go.
Sure. I've just sent you the link on Instagram so you can have a look for yourself. See if you recognize either of the guys.
Let's see. Yeah, it's fascinating viewing for you people, for you guys. These sorry, just can't help that. It's just a thing.
There's no real details on either of them or on any of them really. Zion Quinn's also been featured on Main Event this week as well. Fighting the likes of Akira Tozawa.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I can't say just by looking at them I'm familiar with them, but you never know.
Bronco is hang on. Mexican ex-football player, so he kind of fits in with Zion. Calls himself the only big body G in NXT.
Yeah.
Lucian, I believe, Nigerian. And nothing really about him.
Nigeria, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it green, white, and green, the flag?
Yeah.
As in vertical lines, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nigeria.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. There's a few similar flags, I just wanted to check, but that's the Nigerian flag.
Also an ex-football player from the looks of things.
Wouldn't be surprised.
They all kind of have the same vibe. He posted a photo and the backing song on it was a Gangster's Paradise. It was like, okay.
Well, Coolio passed away the other weeks.
Yeah.
Might have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys are on Twitter and Instagram, so if anyone who's interested to go and find out more about them, you can do that. Oh, and obviously Zion Quinn. Or you could just watch Level Up if you want. Which, unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do it. And Aaron doesn't either, really. So I barely have the chance to manage to see what I get to see.
Not very interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
But they won all their matches, the new faction, anyway.
Well, that's what you should do for a new faction, though. Build them up.
Yeah, they haven't been on NXT yet, but Quinn's been featured on Main Event and was received pretty well as well, from what I can tell.
Well, Quinn's all right. It's just the other two will need some time, so that might be a thing. So
yeah, it looks like a trio faction that's gonna have a main focus on tag team for the two younger guys, but I don't know why they've given Zion the lead in this.
maybe it's something specific to do with him. Maybe it's a pre-existing relationship.
I mean, unless they're both naturals, this doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't look from their doesn't look from their profiles that they've had any wrestling history either.
No, what it means there may be a pre-existing relationship with Zion Quinn. Maybe they've all known each other outside of it. You know, there could be multiple reasons.
Maybe there's maybe we'll find out later on, but who knows?
Yeah, or it could be, or you said it yourself. Maybe they just are just naturally gifted. Does happen. It's a rare thing, but you do get naturally gifted wrestlers. I mean, going back to more my era than yours, you probably would have heard of the wrestler, but you wouldn't have seen him during his peak periods. There's a wrestler, Barry Windham, right? Now, Barry Windham started off in the late 70s, most of the 80s and a lot of the 90s. And that man, he had training, but not a lot of it. Never went to the gym a day in his life. Watch him wrestle, you'd never fucking know it. So it does happen. And then you look at people like Ricochet and Ray Phoenix. You know, naturally gifted people. Dante Martin. You can't teach people those sort of skills. You just have them. So maybe these guys have something unique about them in that manner. But we won't know that until we see more of them.
No.
So, but good luck to them anyway. Hopefully they do well.
Yeah, hopefully.
But that does bring us to SmackDown, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't have a problem with SmackDown. Until the problem happened, and we will get to that. So, we got a Reigns versus Logan Paul Crown Jewel recap to kick off the show. It was short and sweet, thankfully, and then the pyro and opening happened, and the actual show was opened by the Usos, who currently stood at 480 days and had to beat the New Day to beat their record. So we was getting the record match first, which really didn't scream up show opener to me.
Well, the thing about a match like that is sometimes you want a big match to open a show, but considering the rest of the show, this should not have been where it was.
No.
I think they've literally put the main event at the beginning of the show.
Felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we was getting the record match first, the Usos versus the New Day for the tag team championships and the tag team record, pretty much. They reminded everyone that Jey Uso's wrist was injured before the break. New Day was in control, but after the break was over, the Usos were back in control. This went back and forth, taking Kofi out of the ring and throwing him about. doing a high-flying double team that we don't see the Usos do much. As the crowd started to chant Sami Uso, we learned that apparently Sami Zayn was out for personal reasons. But anyway, the Usos had control of Kofi a lot until another break happened and a double desperate tag was made and Woods came out of the blocks on fire, getting the first and second close count of the match. Then SOS from Kingston got the third. Then finally the Usos came back with a double splash with the closest count so far. Then New Day hit the limit breaker on Jay on the outside and another limit breaker on the inside to Jimmy, even though Michael Cole called it the midnight hour both times. Jay managed to make the save, and then the two teams went face to face. It all broke down. Woods was thrown in the timekeeper's area, and then Kofi came off the top rope and fell into a 1D, which got the Usos the 1-2-3. And after the match, there was a nod of respect between the two teams.
Sure.
See, this was a great match. This was going to mean one of two things. Either the standard was going to stick and this was going to be a really good SmackDown, or it was all going to be downhill from here. Yeah, need we say more?
Well, we could just say it was kind of like this. Slow and plodding. And served minimal purpose. This very much struck as after a pay-per-view show, as it was like the worst version of one of those, because nobody could be fucking bothered except for the four guys in the opening match.
Yeah.
And there's one person on the show I feel fucking sorry for because of it.
Who that?
The lady.
Which one?
The one that's coming back, lady. Coming back with her husband and his mate in cosplay.
I'm confused.
Sarah Logan.
Oh, right. I haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah, this is not a show to come back on.
No, not really. Not at
But
all.
obviously, we will get to that. But you asked who I felt sorry for, and that's who I feel sorry for.
Also, doesn't help that Twitter blew up about it and said that she was copying another wrestler in an independent promotion.
Fuck Twitter. Is my response to that.
I can't remember what wrestler it was, but there was a picture of said wrestler and it did kind of look identical.
Okay, yeah. Here's some context for people who think Twitter, who are entitled on Twitter, right? For all you fucking know, she has no idea this person exists, okay? Not everyone knows everything about the fucking world. Right? She could have just come up with that look on her own. It can happen, does happen, FYI. And she just happens to might look like someone put wrestler. You know, there's only so many ways you can do that look.
Yeah.
So Twitter needs to take a fucking chill pill and piss off. And stop being so fucking entitled. Bunch of fucking crybabies. Yeah, my opinion of Twitter, for people who are wondering. Not the company. I'm on about most of the people on it. But there you go. But the tag match was good at least, which I did enjoy that. So.
Can't find it.
What, the tag match?
No, I'm trying to find. There it is.
Hey, fun. It's fun, people. We're live. You know, sometimes we misplay stuff and mistakes happen. It's a thing. Or software systems fuck up, or capture cards overheat because they turn themselves on when not supposed to be on. Dumbass things.
I don't have a name.
You don't?
But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a name for the wrestler it is, but I think I know who it is, but I can't think of a name. I'm gonna send you the picture.
Okay, let's see then.
Looks like Rio was fighting her actually. Now that I look at that picture. But yeah, there's a lot of bitching on Twitter about it.
Yeah, let's see.
Anyway, following the Usos versus New Day match, we had a Bloodline segment where Reigns congratulated Jay and Jimmy on a job well done. He wanted the Usos' help with an announcement later on, though, in a segment. This was followed by the first match of the World Cup, which was Nakamura versus Santos Escobar. And although Santos Escobar came out to the ring in full Mexican-themed ring gear, Nakamura came out to the ring dressed in fluorescent yellow and black. He looked like a banana, which kind of made no sense to me, really. You think one person comes out with like their nation's colors on them, you'd think the other person would as well.
You'd think so, yeah. That is Rio, by the way, and that is Max the Impaler.
Yeah.
To answer your question, I recognise the look. It's quite distinctive. And it's not exactly the same as what Logan did. That's my issue. That would be my issue with that. It's similar. But trust me, you could go across the entire wrestling industry and find people with similar fucking makeup.
Yeah, the Viking thing and the primal ambition of that is just, it's kind of been done loads of times by lots of different people. It's not original anymore. It's different, but it's not original.
Yeah, this is an example of basically Twitter picking on somebody who happens to be in WWE. That is literally what this is.
Yeah, and then the same people are bitching and moaning that Ruby Soho should come back to WWE and reunite the Riot Squad.
Why?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, why? They treat her like shit.
Just a bit.
There you go. But that's the answer anyway. It's Max the Impaler.
So, yeah, the first match of the World Cup, Banana versus Escobar. Nakamura versus Escobar.
Japan versus Mexico. If you want to do it by country.
Yeah, this was kind of taken away from, to be honest. This was a good match, and then Michael Cole announced that on New Year's Eve, Nakamura would be flying to Japan to face the Great Moolah in a dream match.
Great what?
Muta. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, for anyone who is not aware of things outside WWE, this is Muta's retirement tour year.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stuff's happening, and this is part of that. So the Nakamura thing was already known. This is not news. Apparently it's the WWE, though.
Yeah, but wasn't he on a farewell tour? Wasn't Suzuki on a farewell tour?
No, because this is a retirement tour for Muta. I mean, Muta will actually retire at the end of it. Suzuki, I think, Suzuki will be done when he's dead. That's pretty much how that's going to work.
So I heard that last year was his retirement tour, and then he keeps on popping up, and was just like, "You're not."
No. Murder Grandpa will be retired when he's dead.
I'd like to see Nakamura versus Murder Grandpa.
Go back in the history, my man. It's New Japan have got it somewhere.
Oh yeah, I believe they have. So
yes,
Japan versus Mexico, and Nakamura was announced as facing Muta New Year's Eve, and Escobar then got the 1, 2, 3. This felt kind of like they punished Nakamura for going out of WWE for a match.
Possibly, but there's also the fact there's a good chance Sting is going to be involved in this as well.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah, well, me personally, I look forward to seeing Nakamura versus Muta. I think it'll be a good match.
So Escobar got Nakamura on the top rope and hit an avalanche phantom driver for the win. For anyone who's interested.
Honestly, I was more interested in the fact he's facing Muta.
Yeah. We then had a nice Veterans Day package, and then Michael Cole announced tribute to the troops was coming around again soon.
For those of you unaware, outside of America, it's called Remembrance Day.
Yeah, don't have a problem with this. Fair enough.
No, it's something they
always
it's something good. It's something they do. It's usually always this time of year. Makes sense, sure.
I need a drink.
No worries. Yeah, lots of talking stuff as well. Aaron, of course, is just getting over basically doing too much naughty things with his mouth because he got ill. But
Day 10 of COVID, you dirty bastard.
Okay, I was going to have a bit of fun with it. Okay, but fine.
But this was my favourite segment of the evening that we come to now. We had LA Knight on a segment, which was okay. But he got confronted by Bray Wyatt when he said, "I don't want his shit in my segment." And he turned around and he was facing Bray Wyatt instead of the woman that was interviewing him in the first place. Knight was kind of terrified, which was pretty good. He wanted to know where his respect was, and Wyatt basically dropped him with a shoulder to the jaw.
You know, WWE lists it as being a headbutt.
It was so obviously a shoulder.
I'm just telling you what it says on my website.
It was obvious shoulder to the head. No headbutt here whatsoever.
characters. Yeah.
And then we had my least favorite part of the show. We had Liv
Yeah.
Morgan versus Sonya Deville versus Xia Li versus Lacey Evans versus Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Rodriguez. This was a six-pack challenge for a title shot against Ronda Rousey. The winner faces her at Survivor Series War Games. This match was chaotic, as to be expected, as it was no DQ. Sonya
Well,
Deville.
6-pack challenges are that way, so yeah.
Yeah. Sonya Deville cost Liv Morgan every chance she got, which was in character and understandable from their rivalry. But in the midst of this match, commentary got my attention in the form of Wade Barrett. Would you like to hear why?
Go ahead, tell us.
Shotzi back in the ring. Ducks underneath. Shotzi with a spinning neck breaker.
Nice from Shotzi. Let's call it what it is. Shotzi is a weirdo from way out home.
Yeah, but she's a great athlete, Wayne.
Who
are you to call somebody a weirdo?
Nothing weird about me, pal. I'm straight.
And Raquel now.
Straight as they come.
With a powerbomb to Xia Li.
Nothing weird about me, pal. I'm straight. Straight as they come. Wade Barrett.
The man does protest too much right there. For starters.
And there's also a lesbian in this match, Sonya Deville.
Is there? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Right. I will say for Wade Barrett here, he's in character.
Back in the ring.
So I'm guessing it's a character thing. However, there's a better way to have said this than what he says.
Let's listen just to that part again, shall we?
Yeah.
You're to call somebody a weirdo.
Nothing weird about me, pal. I'm straight.
And Raquel now.
Straight as they come.
Powerbomb to Xia Li.
Nothing weird about me, pal. I'm straight.
The thing is, yeah, he's in character, but it's still a bad thing to say.
Very much so.
You can say this in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Can you, though?
You can, because the things he doesn't mean it. I personally would like to think he does not mean it the way it sounds. But maybe I'm being optimistic. I don't know. I think he's trying to say, and this is my interpretation, so don't put anything on this. I think this is him saying, I'm like everybody else. I don't dress weirdly and shit. I think that's what he means by that comment. But unfortunately, the way he said it has connotations of other nature. I think it's bad language more than it's a bad intent. I don't think he means it the way it sounds. But again, I'm not him, so I can't tell you for certain. But what I can tell you, it doesn't sound good. The only thing you can really say is possibly think before you speak.
I mean, it's not as bad as McAfee turning around and calling Butcher fucking spastic on live TV.
Right. I genuinely think
there.
Yeah, because that's very much he said it. I think this is a case of he's just not use the right words to explain what he means. And by consequence, he's possibly offended people that he's probably not meant to offend. However, you're on commentary, you're a live commentator, you need to use this to realise what I can say and what I can't on whatever platform you happen to be on. For example, here on YouTube, there's things you can't say. there's things on Twitch you can't say. There's things on most social media you can't say. And there's things on live television you definitely can't say.
I mean, it's a good thing it wasn't Pride Month. Could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And I just hope that it's just literally a case of it's just wrong words. I hope.
It's taken every fibre of my being not to tweet Sonia Deville and put that tiny little clip of audio in there and say, "Did you have a good match?"
Honestly, if you feel that strongly about it, do it. Because honestly, if it bothers you that much and you think there's something to it, then there's nothing wrong with putting that public.
No.
Having an opinion about something like that is absolutely fine. Because if you've got an issue with it, particularly yourself, because, you know, you happen to be bi, you may interpret these things differently to what I do. So your opinion of that matters as much as mine does, or as a fully gay person's opinion does, or a lesbian's opinion does. So if you feel there's something wrong there, you should raise the issue. Absolutely, you should.
In my opinion, I find it wrong because of the fact that I've been in certain people's situations where you don't want to come out. And this, to me, if I was to hear this on national TV and I'm sitting with my family and they don't know, but I do, and I was thinking about being out and open, and they laughed at that had shoved me right back in the closet.
I see. It's the idea of what it may cause somebody who listens to it who may be thinking about coming out, and this scares them off of being themselves because they're too afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't say I understand that because obviously I'm straight, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to hear something that makes me think, oh, I don't want to say that now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not to the same degree as that because that's a very much a big life thing, but at the same time, I kind of get it, but it's not going to be the same. But as I said, honestly, if it really is a big issue for you, then by all means, if you feel you have to send a tweet to her with that on there, do so. You know, it's one of those things. You know, it's a case of.
I don't think she'd respond anyway. Yeah, probably end up being a waste.
But maybe not. But would it help you to have that out there though? That is your opinion of this.
I don't think it would. I don't think honestly it would have any effect on anybody really.
Okay. Because that's ultimately the main thing here is with the words you said. Do we ultimately think they are meant to be harmful?
I don't know, probably just the context that it was used. But obviously, personally, I don't know Wade Barrett personally, so I wouldn't.
Right. But that's always going to be the issue with something like, because unless you know somebody, it would be kind of hard to fully understand what somebody's intent is with words. A lot of it's context as well. Because, not being funny, because for all we know, he's taking the piss out of Michael Cole. And because he thinks Michael Cole's a fucking weirdo. I know I do. But that's neither here nor there. But at the same time, I'm not saying that is what's going on, but the fact is, I don't know. That's more my issue, is the fact that I don't know Stu Bennett well enough to know if that is what he actually thinks, or whether that is just a character quirk, or he's just said what he means wrong. Because we all do stumble over our words and sometimes say the wrong things that we don't always necessarily mean to state ourselves in the way we come across either.
I mean, personally, I feel like I'm probably thinking too much into it because of because of something I've heard in the past before about said person.
Yeah, where'd you hear that from, though? That would be my question for that. Because unless you hear about it directly from either somebody you really know would not lie to you, or unless it's directly from that person, always be very wary of anything like that because you never know.
It was before when he was competing in WWE.
Okay. Because as I said, though, the thing with anything like this, unless the source is 100% liable, or you hear it firsthand, always be very cautious of anything because you never know what somebody's agenda might be. Because, unfortunately, people sometimes look out for themselves more than they do the well-being and the welfare of those who might be affected by people. It's a fact, I'm afraid.
Yep.
But are you possibly reading too much into it? Maybe, but at the same time, I'm not you. You could have a very legitimate reason for feeling that way.
Anyways, we should probably move on because the match ended with Shotzi winning. But it also ended with a massive botch. Liv Morgan tried to take out Raquel Rodriguez and Sonya Deville, putting them both through a table. And Liv Morgan and Rodriguez bounced off said table, and it didn't break. It was a major fuck up. I
am the table! It's an old ECW thing. Whenever the table wouldn't break for a spot, the crowd would always start chanting, "I am the table," because obviously it doesn't break, right? The thing is with table break spots, unless you get tables exactly right, this can happen. It's unfortunate, but it is a thing. But the problem is when it's something that obvious, it looks really bad.
Yeah. What was also bad was what happened after the break. Shotzi and Emma had a nice convo, a bit of respect shown between the two, and then Baszler got in Shotzi's face and basically laughed. Told Shotzi, Shotzi turned around and said to Baszler that she'd surprise everyone, including Ronda. Baszler said, "You sound like you've got a lot to say to Ronda. Why don't you turn around and tell her?" As Shotzi turned around, there was Ronda. Went to speak and was choked out by Baszler. This was stupid, really.
Yes.
Unnecessary. She just won a six-pack challenge. She'd had a nice moment of respect. Let her have that. Do this segment the week before. Give it a bit of a build-up. Don't fuck around with this shit unless it's going to lead to a tag team match with Emma and Shotzi versus Baszler and Ronda next week before the pay-per-view. That's the only thing I can see them doing here, but it's a crap segment.
Yeah, this is dumb for pretty much every reason you just said, honestly. You're trying to build up a new contender, right? So the very first thing you do after they win the match is fucking choke them out.
It's just...
If you have to do this shit, what next week?
I mean, to make matters worse, they just laughed about it as they walked away and said clean up on aisle green, which is probably going to stick because social media is a bitch. But yeah, this whole segment just felt like it was lacking. It wasn't needed. It wasn't necessary, and it was damaging for Shotzi.
It did not help progress the story. In fact, if anything, it made it
minimalistic in character.
Yeah, it made me not give a shit. Because if you're going to treat the challenger this way, then there's no chance whatsoever they're going to do anything. Did I think you should beat her anyway? No. But by doing this, you're telling us, yeah, don't care, it ain't happening.
We then got AK the Braxton interview. She interviewed Ricochet about his World Cup opponent next week, Mustafa Ali. and that he respected him and looked forward to it. He was then interrupted by Imperium, mainly Walter, telling him to fight with all his heart because he'd love to beat him again at the end of the tournament.
Sure. Okay. Don't mind that from Walter.
I mean,
What
I
I
don't
find-
mind this segment, but I'm looking forward to Mustafa Ali versus Ricochet.
Some way. But I find it fucking weird, right? That you got two Americans fighting each other in a World Cup.
See, this is where it's a little bit.
Yeah, I know they're going to play into some dumb shit, and they probably will, but it's retarded. This is two Americans.
Yeah, Mustafa Ali, when he first joined WWE in the Cruiserweight Classic way back when, he had an Arabic character
I know.
because he has Arabic heritage, so they're
Yeah,
probably going to
absolutely he does.
include that in the World Cup kind of picture thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen
The real
how many
life-
Americans are actually in this fucking cup?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. It's so much for a World Cup. Yeah, it's dumb.
3 bordering on 4 because Sami Zayn is Canadian, but he resides in America.
Well, by that argument, you could throw a fucking Jinder in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Even though he didn't last long.
yeah, but you're making a point of how many were in it. Were it.
So
It's-
we then got
Yeah.
Omos versus Strowman. We got an Omos versus Strowman recap.
sure,
It
why
was
not?
short, sweet, and we learnt Strowman would be in action next in the World Cup first round, but we wasn't told who he'd be against. We then got a McIntyre and Cross Crown Jewel recap. So I thought, awesome, we're gonna get McIntyre versus Strowman in the first round of the World Cup. Count me in. And
Why
then
put
Mahal.
why put the Cross McIntyre thing here?
Yeah, and then we got Jinder Mahal on a microphone.
For the exact reason you just said. You're telling people by doing that it's going to be McIntyre and Strowman.
I was excited about McIntyre versus Strowman. Then I saw
Yeah.
fucking Jinder. I was like, fuck.
And do you know what? Ain't Jinder's fault either. This is dumbass from WWE right here. Okay? Should Jinder be in this match? Probably not. But at the same time,
He
you
was
got to do
back,
better.
bigging
You got to do
himself,
better. than these people.
saying
But that's his
no,
character. That's his character.
saying no man would be able to beat him. And then Strowman came out, Mahal and Strowman for the first round of the World Cup. Jinder actually did well. He managed to get a load of offense off the bat and get Strowman down more than once, showing that he is a former world champion.
To be fair, people really underrate Jinder. Jinder's a lot better than people think he is.
Yeah, I agree.
So
But 5 minutes later, Braun Strowman turned the momentum and one powerbomb later won the match.
sure, the package beforehand told us who'd win the match.
Yeah.
Because the fact of we wasn't told who his opponent would be.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a clue.
Mm-hmm. So this was followed by B-Fab versus Selena Vega. Well, it looked to be Selena Vega versus B-Fab. But as B-Fab made her entrance, a horn sounded and the Viking Raiders took out both teams of Legado and Hit Row. And then Sarah Logan made her return, looking fiercer than ever, laying out B-Fab and making Zelina leg it out of pure fear.
Good. Happy for Sarah Logan. Fuck Twitter.
Pregnancy did her complexions well.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
I'm happy to see Sarah Logan live. I said, fuck Twitter.
I wouldn't mess with her as a mum.
I wouldn't have messed with her before she's mum. What the fuck are you on about?
Yeah, just thinking about all the teachers and Excuse me, miss. Your child is a bit of a problem child. What?
Imagine if those two turned up to Parents' Day, not being funny.
Yeah. Imagining character. Fuck that! I'm out!
But I think this will be a good thing for them, honestly, because I think they were missing something. I think this is probably it.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully they do better for her this time than they did the first time, because they really underused her.
Yeah. Well, after this, we had 10 minutes of the show left, and we had Roman's announcement thing that needed to happen with the Bloodline.
Okay. Well, that's Roman's entrance. So did anything else happen?
Bloodline entered minus Sami Zayn, of course, but found out he'd be back next week to face Butch in the first round of the World Cup.
Well, at least that is two people who aren't actually Americans.
Yeah, British and Canadian.
Yeah.
Can we just say that Butch is actually English? And you could have had McIntyre in this as Scottish. And you could have had Sheamus in this as Irish.
Yes, but Irish doesn't count as British anyway.
As Northern Irish.
Yeah, but Irish doesn't count as British anyway, for anyone who is unaware of this.
Depends what part.
No,
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, but
and
if it's where Finn comes from, then he would count. Then Great Britain, UK and stuff. Sheamus, however, no. Sheamus would still be Irish regardless, because the Republic of Ireland are not part of it. So,
you could have three more. You could have had 3 more countries there,
and 3 better people too.
Yeah, and did we notice that not a single member of the Bloodlines in this, apart from Sami Zayn? Sikoa.
Yeah, representing what nation though?
Samoa. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but let's be honest, how many of them are actually born in Samoa?
It's a character. Who fucking cares?
It's still, yeah, but they're still making the same point. Because they're not actually Samoan if they're born in America, right?
I don't know.
Well, look at this way. Sami is not actually Syrian. He's of Syrian descent. He's a Canadian. Right? So by that very same definition, Roman, the Usos, and Sikoa are Americans who happen to have Samoan heritage.
Depending on whether or not they were born on a Samoan island or not.
No, they were born in America. I've checked into this. Because people have been asked about this before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were all born in America, which would make them Americans of Samoan descent.
Oh well.
But it's definitely one of those things. So I'm going to double check that just to make sure I'm right.
So anyway, Reigns started as usual with the request for acknowledgement. Heyman called Indianapolis a hellhole and got booed for it a bit, and tried to save it by saying that not every that it wasn't very boosy of them to boo him. So Roman was about to say something and was interrupted by the Brawling Brutes, and Holland said they were sick of the numbers game and they brought back up. Out came Sheamus, who said tonight begins the end of the Bloodline. All the while his microphone was breaking up and not working properly. So Roman kind of fought on his feet and said, what was he going to do? He couldn't even get his mic to work, which actually broke Jimmy Uso out of character, which was kind of funny. Sheamus said he had no problem saying it to his face, and obviously they went for the ring. It was still 4-on-3 though. They were outnumbered, and then McIntyre evened the odds, and it all broke down, and the show closed. But yeah, not the worst way to have a War Games match come to fruition, to be honest. And I like the teams. Just curious about the possible fifth members for the Brutes. McIntyre, Brutes and McIntyre. So, like, my personal recommendation would probably be Devlin, stick to the British theme, or Tyler Bate due to his history with Butch. Or they'll probably end up going with Riddle because obviously the thing on Raw, or Kevin Owens because he's got War Games experience.
There is another option. They just keep it to Forrest's side.
No, it's already been advertised as five-a-side. I can't see them doing a five-a-side women's one and not a five-a-side men's one.
Oh, I could. It's WWE, but if they've already announced it's five-a-side, then yeah, they've clearly got somebody else in mind to do it though. But having checked up on the Bloodline, yeah, all American born. So all Americans.
Oh well.
So not an issue, but if you're going to do something like that, they wouldn't really be. It's one of those. It's hard to find people who are legitimately from actual other countries, though, who are top names in a lot of these, in WWE particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Outside WWE, it'd be fucking easy. But there you go. But I personally think Bate would be a good choice for this. If you want a fifth person for Sheamus, McIntyre, and the Brutes. Or, you know, if you just need somebody to take a loss, you could always just get Roderick Strong to do a one-off deal. He's got a history with Butch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but definitely it's not. McDonald's not the worst shot, or Devlin, whatever the fuck you want to call him. There's definitely some options out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I do think you may have a point with Owens, though, because if you've got Sammy in this, having Owens on the opposite team could be interesting.
I'd also like to say that we haven't heard from Owens in weeks.
Yeah.
So if they wanted a surprise element, that's one way they could. They've built it in a way and have the Bloodline open up the show next week, and have the four of them come out and have the five of them in the ring: Roman, Usos, Sikoa, Sammy, and have Sammy pick up the microphone and say, "Well, what are you four gonna do? There's four of you and five of us." And McIntyre said, "That's okay. We brought a friend, Kevin Owens."
You could do that. Or you could just do it for the NXT War Games where he showed up.
Yeah.
Just don't announce him. Have them go in there with a mystery partner.
I didn't really like that though.
Yeah, but it's a men's War Games match where nobody really actually cares that much.
Sure.
I mean, let's be honest. There's nothing at stake here. There's no titles on the line. So you can do this, and also if you haven't come in there as a surprise, you can also play up the angle possibly the use. Which Uso is it? Is it Jimmy that has issues with Sammy? Whichever one of the Usos it is could end up turning it to Sammy and going, "You knew he was coming. You knew he was coming," and it could cause more friction.
Yeah, it's Jey Uso that doesn't go along with Sammy.
Okay, well, there you go. But there's things you can do. Is my point. Do I think they're necessarily going to be the best ideas? Maybe not. But at the same time, I've heard worse. They've done worse.
Yeah.
That should be almost the WWE motto at this point. Hey, we've done worse and you've heard worse. WWE Creative.
Mhm. Oh boy.
But,
So yeah, that's
yeah.
the end of WWE this week.
Yes, it was. So you need to give us a rating for the show because that's one thing you need to do.
Uh, 4.
Yeah, I can understand that. Makes sense to me anyway. So.
That means that SmackDown was the best show of the week. Ugh.
Well, from the way you explained all this stuff and the way you've put out your reasoning, it probably would be. Because despite Wade Barrett's commentary, you didn't really have much of a problem with anything else compared to the other show.
Yeah, maybe 4's a bit harsh as well. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I would say to SmackDown over the other shows, at least SmackDown wanted to do things and it actually did them, and it did them in line with what they wanted to do. Was it necessarily done the best? No. But at least it made sense in what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say that for the other two shows.
True.
I mean, let's be honest. If you'd watched Level Up, that probably would have been the best fucking show this week. But there you go.
Yeah.
Although, to be fun, not being funny, if we included AEW shows in this fucking show, it'd be one of those. So.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, my favourite match of AEW this week was Dante Martin versus Brian Cage.
Yeah, it was a good match. I don't know why that. You've got a man who can do pretty much anything as far as agility and speed and aerial belly goes, and you've got another man who's a freak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice style clash you got there, and it works very well.
Mm-hmm. Also, the return of the House of Black is seems to be imminent, which is always nice.
Are you excited for that?
No.
FYI, for those of you who are unaware, Aaron has a thing for Malachi Black.
They don't want Black Mass merch for Christmas. I don't know what you're talking about. Please don't look at my Black.
Wow, that's an interesting top you're wearing right there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
What? You're not wearing a Blackpool Combat Club jacket, though? Hoodie?
No.
Yeah, now he's going to go take it off, you coward.
I'm not wearing anything Blackpool Combat Club related. Like, not at all.
No, nothing that was forged in combat, no?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. This is a WWE podcast.
Yeah. It's not like you haven't won that top for like the past couple of shows where we've done this at all, is it?
No.
No. But anyone who's seen this show should know by now, I don't give a shit.
Comfort first, questions later.
Yeah.
So I don't
For
even
what I
wear this with a shirt on. So like that's how comfy this is.
Hey, ladies.
And I have COVID, so I need to be comfortable. Otherwise, I get irritable.
I would point out, since we're not on Twitch, you could have done it without the jacket on.
I could, yeah.
So, but obviously, originally was supposed to be on Twitch. But,
on Instagram, so
oh, I think I saw that.
yeah.
Was that? Yeah, she doing that selfie thing with the phone pictures and stuff. So, which I personally don't like that shit.
No, it's a semi-shirt. This picture is kind of like a confidence boost, but at the same time, I've lost weight because of COVID. I've lost like nearly a stone, and I don't like the way that I'm looking at the moment.
It's a common side effect is weight loss from that. So let's see if we can find you. You should be quite easy to find you.
And the other one was my main killer on Dead by Daylight, and a dead body because I killed somebody on the game. I got my first kill with my main killer, and they kind of fell.
Ladies and gentlemen, look at that!
It's not the nicest of pictures. Scroll across twice. There's a lot funnier picture.
You're in that one.
I managed to get the kill as she jumped out of the cabin thing that they can hide in, and I got the kill and she literally looked like she left her head inside the cabin. His head inside the wardrobe.
Very nice. So, but I mean, I generally am not a fan of such pictures, but that is by no means the worst one of those I've ever seen in my life. I've seen much worse of those. So, also, it doesn't really show the weight thing, mate. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. Put this way, as far as the picture goes, is you don't look emaciated, so you look healthy, which is the important part in that picture. Unlike that body, that didn't look healthy.
That's why I kept the jacket partially on, because you can kind of see my ribs with the jacket off.
No, you just don't want to take it off until you get your House of Black merch. That's what it is, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. So when is your House of Black body bag turning up with the Baptism Lake and Julia Hart? When is that all turning up?
I have no idea.
Are you going to get Kaylee to like baptize you in a lake like Julia Hart?
Black mist in my eyes.
Oh, is that what they call it nowadays? Aaron's thinking how to answer that, aren't you? If she's not here, then you can say what you like.
No comment.
Okay. So which room's she in exactly then?
No, she's not. She's at work.
Oh, okay. You're assuming she'll probably watch it. Yeah, that at least makes sense. I got that.
No, I know she's not going to watch it because she was watching it. She was watching it earlier when we was live on Twitch, and then because it kept cutting out, she left.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, YouTube works much better than Twitch. So. There you go. Oddly enough, it doesn't have the same weird rules as Twitch does either, because Twitch has some weird ass rules. And yet you can have women on there who are basically naked in bubble baths, making tons of money and not getting in trouble for it. It's funny how that works.
It's a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. All good fun. So yeah, so Aaron's waiting for his Christmas haul of AEW merch. So
to be quite honest, I haven't asked for any. So I probably won't get any. So any money that I get will probably go towards said merch, like from Christmas. But
Dude, if you want that shit, you're supposed to ask people for it. That's how presents work.
I know.
The problem I have when it comes to anything like that is I can't ask for anything that might be useful for me because nobody would understand what I'm fucking asking for.
Yeah, it's like me asking my mum for Pokemon stuff. She's like,
Right.
"Why? You're an adult." And I'm just like, "Because I collect it and I use the trainer boxes on my streams."
Well, in my case, it's more if I ask for this sort of shit.
Yeah,
They wouldn't know what to get me because they wouldn't understand what I'm saying.
it's like if I asked for a new laptop
Exactly.
or a new
There's certain
console.
things. Yeah, there's certain things I won't ask for. I'll have to do it myself because I know otherwise it'll be wrong. It's not even their fault. They just don't understand.
Yeah.
But there you go. Let's see. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. Oh, yeah. There may not be a show in 2 weeks' time, but we will have to see.
That's fine.
Yeah, I may be busy because, you know.
That's the week after Survivor Series, so.
Yeah, also it's someone's birthday.
Ah.
Give you a hint. Mine. So,
Coffee and Galaxy for everyone.
yeah, it's usually the one day I don't work, so we'll see how it goes. Though. It depends on whether I'm doing anything or not. If I'm not, then we'll probably still do something anyway. But it depends. I'll let you know anyway. But it's not next weekend. It's the weekend after.
Okay. No worries.
Either way, we will see what happens. But hopefully, Twitch OBS and Webbox will be working before that happens.
Hopefully.
It would
And
be
I'll
useful.
be back streaming this week, hopefully, as well. Properly.
Yeah. Let's make. Well, hopefully it works just for you doing shit. That would be my first concern with that crap.
Yeah.
And then from there, we can always. There's always other ways we do this shit. So, as we demonstrate today. So there you go. So, anything particularly planning to stream this week, or are you just gonna see what happens?
I'm going to be trying out a new schedule.
Ooh.
New game. One of the days as well.
Okay.
And
So, are you going to be able to get away playing that game on Twitch? I think they'd frown upon that.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, you don't mean that kind of game. Okay. Katie was getting all excited just then. Cool. So, new schedules, new games, more fun.
More streams, hopefully, which is going to be the main focus. Because
Yeah,
obviously now all my proceeds are going towards the wedding, and also other bits and pieces that are important as well.
Yeah, keep an eye on that capture card as well. Make sure it doesn't fucking do that again, because that's probably big part of the issue we had as well. Don't want it affecting your stuff, because that.
I mean, it's only £20 for a brand new one, but I'd like to keep this one in working order as much as I could. So
Yeah, it's also an inconvenience more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, this laptop isn't the best either. I did get it second hand, didn't I?
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think that's probably that's definitely not what the issue was today, because I don't think it's your laptop. It was probably everything else but the laptop, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it was the OBS running at the same time as the internet browser kind of fried it a bit. Not sure why. It's been happening quite often, especially when I've been trying to raid out while still doing other things. It's really weird.
Probably somewhere being retarded, more likely. As in the dad dead kind of stuff. Not the term used derogatively for people. I mean, as in technology being dumb. To be clear, I like to be clear about what I mean.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't want to offend the internet.
No.
Actually, I don't care if I offend the internet with an opinion I actually have an opinion about. If I'm joking, then it's a joke. If it's an opinion I have they don't like, I don't care. That's just how that works. So, yeah. So streaming and back to doing stuff hopefully for Aaron this week. Fantastic. As for me, I will be out and about at the Excel on Wednesday for a business event thing. So if by some chance any of you might be around, you might see me, come say hello. I won't bite you unless you ask me nicely. But no, seriously. If any of you do manage to see me by some miracle, then great. If not, no, it is what it is. Then Friday, Wednesday, so Friday's a wedding, Saturday is an event, and back here Sunday for doing this. And in between, there'll probably be 4 gear. So. Where Aaron will possibly end up drawing over more stuff. So as far as our streamers go over here, people watching our stream, well, thank you very much for being tolerant and indulgent of the issues we had today. I think we'll let them go, and we'll see them soon. So bye-bye to you, people. Bye-bye.